Good morning, Tick Tock Toddlers. My name is Adrienne Penner. I work as a dietitian here at the center. I am covering for Amanda's mat leave, so I will be here. The plan is until June. So welcome today. Today we're going to take a few minutes to talk about body worries, kind of body image, intuitive eating, diet culture, and so forth. So I am going to dive in here and start sharing my slides. So many of you have probably heard on the news and that the rates of disordered eating and eating disorders have spiked throughout this pandemic. And so today I hope to give you some of the basics to set yourselves up with a positive relationship with food and also your kids as well. So I have two girls. I have Avery, who's 7, and Natalie, who's 4. And I think they were probably my main motivator to start learning about this several years ago. So I've been working on my relationship with food over the last number of years and just learning a lot about it professionally as well, as I've been getting a lot more referrals for these kinds of conditions and situations. So today, I hope to discuss what body image is, kind of how to properly fuel your body. I feel fat. I've received a handful of referrals from moms whose daughters, as young as 7 years old, have been commenting on their bodies in this way. So how do we handle that as parents? How can I improve my relationship with my body? Pregnancy and breastfeeding and kind of going through that, if you have multiple kids, can really change your body and can trigger some underlying beliefs and so forth. So I hope today's chat will support you in having a healthy relationship with your body and with food, and also be able to pass that on to your kids. Self-care, energy and movement, exercise, and then just a few ideas on setting our kids up for success. So wish me luck. I'm hoping to do this in 15 minutes. We will see here. So how do you see yourself? I love this picture of this little lady. How we see ourselves when we look in the mirror, when we see pictures of ourselves, that passes on to our kids, and I encourage you to change the mantra that's going on in your head. We can change our thoughts, and the more you can appreciate what your body has accomplished through having babies and giving life, and just this story, a beautiful story of a miracle that's happened, and to see all that your body has done rather than what it looks like. That's a good message for our kids too. I have a really cool Disney princess book that talks about not just how beautiful the princesses are, but also, hey, Belle, she has an amazing library and she loves to read. And Snow White loves to dance and sing in the forest with all of her little friends. And I think the more that we can be acknowledging our own and our kids' qualities and character and skills and so forth, in addition to physical compliments as well, will really set us all up for success. So, and yeah, body image affects all ages, all sizes, and so forth. So, yeah, it's out there. Anyway, okay. So I'm going to use this acronym, and this is from the Women's Health Clinic, their eating disorder clinic, actually. And they use this acronym to support good body image. So first step is eating well. Second step is understanding what's going on, rest and relaxation, just taking care of yourself, and then proper energy. We focus on these things, generally speaking, it can really help the situation. So this is my area of expertise, nourishment, and how do we properly eat. So I get a lot of referrals for adults that want to improve their relationship with food. They're done with the dieting, the yo-yoing, the extreme, they're frustrated. And so sometimes it can be interesting to just acknowledge how certain programs and diets can impact things. Studies show dieting has a 2.5% success rate long-term. So You can tell that I am not necessarily a fan of dieting, although I do think that there's cool things you can pull from each of the programs. And I often encourage people with a history of dieting is think about the, different program. What did you really love about keto? What drew you to that initially? What did you like about intuitive eating, and so forth? From that, we start creating their own kind of diet or meal plan, and we talk about what does the ideal day look like. And I love doing this with people. If you ever want to sit down and just brainstorm together, I am in. So kind of coming up with a plan, when do I like to first eat in the morning? Am I a breakfast eater? Do I like to wait till lunch? How do I feel best? And how does food fit into that? And so forth. So I often aim to come up with something like this when I meet with clients one-on-one. And I often encourage parents to start with themselves. And if you've got good habits going on throughout the day, your kids will follow. So that's my challenge to you. Protein. So protein helps to keep us full and also helps to sustain muscle mass. And muscle is the biggest factor in a healthy metabolism. Hold on, I'm just gonna check something here. Okay, and oops, yeah, okay, sorry about that. And protein also helps to limit the number of blood sugar spikes and crashes. And if we're on this from eating too many kind of white carbs and sugar, we tend to notice it mentally. Sometimes mood is affected, physical energy levels, hunger, cravings, all these things that aren't super helpful. So having enough protein from sources like these really helps to just stabilize everything. These are some great kind of intuitive eating basics. So the idea of 80-20, 80% of the time try and eat foods, that help our bodies, but food is so much more than just nutrition. It's great in building memories around the campfire, baking together, mini eggs at Easter, whatever it is, to give yourself permission to enjoy the junk food, if you will. So it plays an important role in life as well. Kind of combating that all or nothing thinking and extreme diets that's very common around nutrition. Thinking that all foods can fit is a great idea. And then respecting hunger and fullness cues. Kids typically have a great sense of these, but we tend to lose them as we get older. So thinking about, when do I get hungry? Making sure you're eating enough beforehand to limit getting to the hangry point. I've got a hunger scale here. Whoops, sorry. And it will kind of break down what it feels like in the different stages of hunger. So just being more mindful and thinking about how you're feeling during the day can be really empowering. I know a lot of moms after giving birth are looking to lose weight, and like just tuning into when you're hungry and slowing down when you're feeling 80% full or no longer hungry can do wonders in reaching that goal weight. So eating till you're 80% of what you usually eat. You don't even have to change the types of foods right away, but just reining in the portions a little bit can have a huge impact. So water too, right? Water is huge and can often help us to feel more satisfied without eating more and so forth. So sometimes we keep eating because we're thinking that we're thirsty, or sorry, because we think that we're hungry when we're actually thirsty. And so, yeah, drinking enough can really help with that. So understanding what's going on. I know I've, to be honest, felt like this sometimes. I think all of us, again, it doesn't matter what size you are, we're all prone to it. And our kids too, boys and girls, just, I'm getting a lot more male requests as well for this kind of thing, just feeling at home in their body and working on that relationship. So when we're not loving ourselves, often there is an underlying thing going on. So it's interesting to sometimes ask ourselves or our kids one day if they come to us with this question. Sometimes it's clothing. Sometimes we need the next size up. Having your buckle always digging into your stomach is a constant reminder telling you, hey, my stomach's too big. Well, flip it around and just, you need bigger pants and wear comfortable clothing. I really like the idea of wear what what makes you feel good. Sorry, I didn't write that out there properly, but you know, we want to be wearing clothes that we feel comfortable in and that make us feel good. I like that. Mirrors. So I remember going into middle schools years ago and doing a class with all the kids, and we would write down little mantras and cool sayings that we could stick all over the different mirrors. Really, just working on that self-talk when we see ourselves. Positive friends, you know, following social media accounts that make us feel good. Maybe when we feel fat or less than ideal, maybe it's heartburn or we're just uncomfortable. Maybe we're eating a little bit too much and we feel like, you know, bloated and just uncomfortable, kind of heavy feeling. Certain feelings. So sometimes when we feel lonely or something deeper is going on. Places. So, you know, common one is the beach or dressing rooms or whatever, kind of thinking about when is it that I tend to fall into thinking like this. Is the weather involved? Bowels, right? And just bloating and proper digestion can sometimes be going on. So instead of beating ourselves up, let's be curious, have compassion on our bodies, try and work together with your body. And let's do something about it, you know, pour that energy into going for a walk or cooking a healthy meal, prep some smoothie packs, whatever it is to really start taking care of yourself too. So rest and relaxation. So ways to nurture yourself. So I'm curious if we could talk in person. I'd love to hear how you guys take care of yourselves. This is something I think as moms, especially, and parents in general, I should say, too, partners as well, very much so. You know, what do we need? Yeah, it's a good question. So sometimes, you know, those extra pounds is the place where your body naturally wants to be. Sometimes it can be your life, right? And maybe late night pizza with friends or Sunday morning brunch, favorite cookies just because you want to treat yourself. Those 5 to 10 pounds are, you know, sometimes your favorite memories, unforgettable trips, and your celebrations of life. So they're your spontaneity, your freedom, your love. I think sometimes the image that we have in mind and are striving for isn't always realistic, nor is it happy. I meet a lot of women that are in that, you know, low body percentage and look good, but they're miserable inside and they're tied to all these rules and they feel bound and trapped by maintaining that ideal. So sometimes, yeah, certainly taking care of ourselves, but giving ourselves some grace too, and realizing that the mom body is, it's different for all of us, and focusing on health over a size and so forth can be very freeing. So energy, so movement in that obviously is probably the best way to combat poor body image. Move around, appreciate what your body can do for you. Should move myself a little bit there, but yeah, and the endorphins, feel good hormones, you'll sleep better, manages stress, you know, so many benefits. Remember reading once, if all the benefits of exercise could be combined into a pill, someone would be very wealthy. So in terms of setting up our kids for success, and I need to refer back to my notes for this one. So trying to speak positively or even not at all about other people's bodies and our own too. Trying not to talk about diets or calories or good food, bad food, you know, in front of our kids especially. Trying to call foods by what they are. So, hey, I think you've had enough Oreos for today. Let's try having some you know, grapes or something instead. Instead of, hey, you've had enough junk. Stop eating that stuff. You know, trying to. I've been learning about this too. Just yeah, I'm not, no judgment here, but focusing on the benefits of the you know, healthier foods instead of the negative things about the junk food can be a really good approach as well. Media literacy, so talking to your kids about how images that they see on social media are often photoshopped and filtered and so forth. Asking your kids what makes a good friend. When I look around and I think about, you know, people that I really admire and like and enjoy hanging out with, it has nothing to do with what they look like, you know. And very quickly, I mean, first impressions, yes, but very quickly you see beyond the outer beauty. And I know I certainly care a lot more about their attitude and their perspective on life and whether they show up for people and what they're passionate about. You know, those are the things that make us beautiful as people, I think. And so the more we can focus on building those things into our kids and ourselves, I think we're all learning in all aspects of parenting. Hey, it is no joke, I will say, but so great too. So yeah, focusing on health over weight. I've had a number of referrals too for, well, I think I was saying this earlier, for parents that have young girls that are concerned about their weight. And the number one tip is to just bust out the exercise and set your kids up so that the healthier choice, food wise too, is the easy choice at home. We all benefit from that. So if you're concerned about any of your children, you know, get the family on some healthy habits, and you'll all benefit. So we don't typically worry about weight gain in kids. It's more the family habits, actually. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that for now. But I would absolutely love to chat with any of you individually, hear your thoughts, whether you agree with these things or have some questions. I would love to chat further. So thank you so much for listening, and I should move that up a bit, and keep in touch.